So this is the Finance Committee meeting, January 24th, 2022. I'm Julia Olafson. In attendance is Ms. Bell, Ms. Godfrey, and Mr. Jerick. Also here is Ms. Haynes, Dr. Cooper, and Mr. Hurley. So I think we have 3 or 4 items on the agenda. We'll start with Act 80 outsourcing.
Currently, Act 80 has always been done by our real estate tax person, but we outsource that position. That's what makes up that position. So there's this odd piece sitting out there for the Act 80, and that's where all the tax forms and the addresses match. That brings up our per capita. That's
Okay.
how we determine if they're for our district or not. But this Act 80 is, I researched 2 companies out on Cadco. I sent several things to some colleagues across the state just to see the difference between the 2. We have a new player on Horizon. I'm not sure what it's going to make up of it. There's a free version of that I'll probably entertain just to see what he does with it. But the one I want to go with is someone that's been doing Act 80 for a while. It's called FERC One. We have a couple different references through a couple school districts locally. What they do is they go through the entire. Right now, the state is actually, instead of sending a CD that they used to, they're actually automating it and sending a link that we're allowed to send to this FERC One. They take the entire file, they analyze it, they give us everything that we need, they send it back, we review it, and then we mail it out. So there's 2 different ways to do it. There's an A and a B. I really don't need a printed version of this. I'm going more automated. I'd like to save it on the G drive. We'll always have that backed up. And it's probably going to range between $750 and $800 per year to do it. But it'll be done, and it'll be done accurately because they compare up to the state and they compare all the different files where we used to go through it manually. So Act 80 is done once a year. We're expecting to file next week because it took a while with the holidays to get a hold of people. I'm going to ask for this to be brought out of the Finance Committee to be voted on this evening so I can move forward with it. So when I get the link next week, I can just shove it out to them so they can handle it. And we're not late as far as the state requirement. Okay, is there any questions on that?
I don't have any. Do you guys have any questions? So I guess we're looking to see if we can recommend going with the Berks One's services. Is that right?
Yeah.
For $751.90 plus $1,750, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Is that for the first year?
No more than $800.
Okay.
And that's an annual thing, so I'll stay with
Right.
it until I can do the comparison. It's actually double to go with the other companies.
Right.
And I'm not quite sure if, when I showed the proposal, not the dollar amount, of course, not
Sure.
but I showed the method proposal to Berk One, when I actually got on the phone with her after the holidays, she was impressed with how they have it a little more automated, and she's already spoken to her team, so I'm thinking we're going to have some competitiveness next year.
Okay.
For this year, I just want to stay with the people that I know have been doing it, and it's worked well for several districts.
Okay.
To use the Berk One.
Okay, so we're looking for a recommendation for that to come out of the committee. Anybody have any objection to that?
No.
No, so we'll go ahead and put that on the, do an agenda edit as recommended by the Finance Committee for tonight. Okay, next.
The next item, what a bigger item. The next 2 items don't need to be approved until February.
Right.
We'll just walk through this slowly. There's something called Corpay. Corporate payments, the company's called Corpay. And what this does is it's almost like when we outsource the e-stove with the taxes. We have someone who's handling it on the back end. Or payroll. We process it, but we send it to someone and they handle all that back stuff. The same concept with accounts payable. This company, and we did a little research, Downingtown uses it now. And I spoke with the business manager and the accounts payable person at length at Downingtown. And it does actually save a lot of time for them. But the main concept is we have Cadco credit cards right now. I use the PNC. I developed that when I first started. I brought that in so we can get that rebate program. So this program actually takes all of our accounts payable. They analyze all the payments, and they also have other people, because they do this already. So they know who's going to take a credit card, who takes wires, who takes checks, and they have this big database of vendors throughout the state. What this does for our district is, I'm going to bring it just to the bottom line. We process the file through Skyward, we get our accounts payable, we send them our payments. They then take and they process all the payments to all of our vendors. Whether it be they accept credit card, whether they get ACH, wire, however it handles, and then we get a rebate for everything they pay. That's the bottom line. Is we have to pay a certain fee, but over the total concept of the program, if you weigh it out, we're going to get more in rebates than we will ever pay in the tune of about $30,000. I'm going to say on the lower end. I like to keep it at the lower end. They say between 32 and 37. I like to say 30, which is more than I'm getting for the rebate program for the credit card.
That's what I was going to ask. What's the average that we're getting per year?
8 to 10,000 depending. Now we paid for a roof the first year, so we got a nice sum. If we don't have those large purchases, and a lot of the companies don't allow you to use the credit card because they charge you a fee to use it.
Right.
But they'll have their own program of credit cards. So it's like all the buses have a credit card for fuel. I send those over to Roads and Kleins. It's just a piece of plastic. When they need more money, they call me. I put the money on the car. That's how we use the control so that nobody goes out there, goes on a shopping.
Gassing up.
Yes. So, however, this would give us a whole new set of credit cards. We would use those credit cards the same way we're using the ones now, but it'll be a different rate structure to where it'll be building on they say 30, I'm going to say conservative and say 30.
And my understanding of what you just said is that the scale, the rebates being larger than what we can do with PASBO is because with this program, it's not just credit cards, it's if we pay things by check. It's every.
And what that takes out of my office is there's an annual sheet I have to file to the state. We have a bunch of the little payments that people get refunds on, not right now, for cafeteria and stuff like that. Any rebates or even little tiny payroll checks. People don't seem to, they forget that it's actually, they gotta take that to the bank. So people don't cash these little checks. It's a little annoying, but it's a process that will go away. Because I won't have to do that, they're gonna have to do it. The bank reconciliation, that'll come in at one number. It's not gonna come in as this big project that takes a couple days to reconcile. It's gonna be just one number hitting the bank. So there's several things, the void checks, all that stuff that our vendors will then call Corpay. If the check is missing or anything like that, they will call them. It'll be all taken out of our office. We'll alleviate some of the responsibilities on the accounts payable person, which is fine because with the payroll and stuff like that and the implementation of some of those things and the health ticket desk that we've got running on, it's not going to make anyone jobless, but it's going to actually even it out a little bit. And we make money on it.
Does anybody else have
So
any
you're saving
questions?
man hours and you're saving money.
Yes. Person hours, woman hours. We're equal.
Any,
So it's a good thing. It's a good
Any
thing. I think
questions?
it's a good time saver, but it's also the fact that I can implement all of my accounts payable under the rebate program, as opposed to right now, I only have it under the people that will take a credit card. Any questions? They did a really nice presentation. They put it all together, the billing cycles. They did a complete analysis. I sent them over my entire vendor list, what we spent, how many people do ACH, how many people do the check, how many people do the credit card. It's called a virtual board.
so are there, do they charge, so they don't charge us at all?
Yes, they charge us, and that's the net effect was right here. If you see right here, the monthly fee is about $600. This is the cost per payment. It's $600 approximately per month. So basically, we're going to spend this, but at the end of the day, when everything comes through, we're going to get, I'm saying we're going to net out about $30.
And what's the net that, so we get what percentage back for our monthly, so everything that goes through them,
At a certain percentage.
yeah, do you know, I'm
The
asking.
credit card, of course, is the highest percentage.
Right, so what's the range? Is it from like 0.5% to 3%
It's
or?
something like that. It varies between what mode that they're paying.
And what's the throughput that we have per month that we pay out to our
The 600.
vendors?
What's the what?
How much, not including salaries, how much money would we theoretically be paying out to our vendors that could be going through this program? Is it like 3 million? Is it a month? Is it 180,000 a month?
Our scale is a little bit different because we don't go by a month because 1 month I could be.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? My scale goes like.
Is it more of a quarter or do you just
We
look at
got-
annual?
It amounts to about, we got a 65 million budget, all right, 42 million is about our accounts payable.
Because the rest of it's salary?
Yes,
Okay.
the salary piece. There are some pieces to the salary I've included in that because I can pay it this way.
So you feel confident that the monthly fee is far outweighed by
Oh,
the,
we will definitely not pay anything for this.
okay.
And I've done it, we had an entire analysis done with Downingtown Area School District, and I could send it out. This will give you something to read and look at. I could send this presentation out to all the board members.
Isn't Downingtown like twice as big as we are?
Oh, they have twice as big.
Yeah,
The concept is that they've never paid anything.
right.
Right.
And
I'm just wondering, it's like not an economy of scale if it's like,
Oh,
if they're paying a monthly,
60 or 70,000.
okay, that's fair. I mean, if they're breaking even, that's great, but I don't know if we would be doing that, yeah.
They have a revenue stream.
Got it,
So
okay.
we will not lose, we will better our revenue, because right now I have a revenue stream of that like 8 to 10,000. My
You're gonna take
revenue
up
stream
20
will now
grand.
be 20 to 30,000.
Okay, all right,
Which will already be after I've paid the bill to them.
all right.
You have to pay that up front, and then you get it back on the back end with
Yeah.
maintenance, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And do they pay it out yearly or quarterly
I
or?
believe when we were going through the calls, I think it's an annual thing.
Okay. All right.
And I can verify, I gave all those questions, but if you want to look at the downtown, look at how they did theirs, and I have a whole 2-page where they did a write-up on it, and then I can send you out this slide presentation, and hit me with questions.
All right. Does anybody else have any questions now? Ms. Haynes is looking for a recommendation out of the committee to put it on the committee of the whole in February. Yay, nay?
Yep. Sounds good to me.
Is Downingtown the only local district that uses it?
The local one, yeah. See, the thing is that Tazewell has a PNC card, and it's highly recommended throughout the state to go with that program.
Okay.
It's not that, it's politics. If you understand, I don't know how else to put it. It's not that it's a bad program, it's just that a lot of people go that way for the ease. This takes a little bit to implement. It'll take about 6 weeks to implement. But on the back end, I do believe it'll be beneficial and you'll gain a revenue stream when you don't have a bigger one.
Okay.
Sounds like good work, Kat.
You good? Okay. I'm fine with it as well, so we'll go ahead and do that. If
And we can yank it, remember. If we
I know,
find
and so we
out
can
that
have a
something's
more-
not working, I'll come right back to you and say, hey, it failed, and I'm yanking it. And I
And-
have no problem with that
Is that
whatsoever.
after a year, or you contractually?
Yes,
Yeah, right, okay.
we want to monitor it at least for a
Sure.
year to see where it comes out. But at any point, I mean, I would make it so we would write the agreement that we decided it's not working, it's not
Right.
working. But I don't see it failing.
So it'll be on the agenda for the committee of whole in February. And if anybody thinks of any questions that you want to ask Ms. Haynes before then, go ahead and email her and we can bring that up for the whole board when we have that discussion, because then we won't have the vote until later in the month.
Later in the month.
Okay? All right, next thing.
And the final thing is Act 168. Act 168 is the process of receiving, we send it out to make sure that nobody has under the, kind of like, if you didn't get prosecuted for it, but you did something naughty in another district, if you're trying to get hired here, at least you have that 168 that'll bring that stuff out. All right, so right now, what we do is manually, we fax the form over to wherever the person says. The IU, I forget which one it is, actually implemented a program that they are doing everything, and it's feeding off of it, and it does automated emails, and refreshing emails, reminder emails. It doesn't take a ton of work off somebody, but it's a more efficient thing because it's within a system with all the other Act 158, and it's feeding off of something instead of waiting for a fax to come through. So it costs about $500, it's $5 per applicant. We estimate that being about $500 a year. To make it as efficient as this way, it makes it more organized in one location. It saves time by sending emails automatically. Previously, an entity after a certain amount or specified days, and until the previous employer completes the portion. It would save time scanning, tracking down the previous employer information because it's all within the PDU system, so you're able to do it. It's just, to me, this is like, this is not to say it's a no-brainer, but it's a no-brainer because it actually fits, and it's feeding off the system that we want it to feed off of. And it makes it more efficient because it's keeping it on track, so if somebody's out for a week, you know it's going to keep going in the system. But anyway, I'm looking for that for February as well. It doesn't have to be done right away, but we would like to implement it.
And is this right, 500 setup and $5 per applicant?
It's just one-time $500 fee, and then it's $5 per applicant.
Oh, the 500 isn't an annual?
The annual fee would be $500 per applicant. I think we estimated that at between three, how many applicants do we have each year? Was it like 50? 50 or 60? I thought you were on the email, I'm sorry. It's
So
less
you-
than $500.
So you estimate you'll spend another $250 to $300 on top of the annual?
Yeah, the 500 is just a one-time setup fee, and
Right.
that'll go away. And then I'll send you probably $250, $300 annually. Because it's $5 per applicant.
And how many person hours does that process usually take for somebody in-house?
It depends on.
I know- I
the
get
time of year,
that.
but like at the beginning of the year, you're looking at how many teachers, maybe we have a lot of retirees this year. so
Yeah, sure.
we'll be tracking them a lot. And then with the Act 168, does that pertain to the custodial staff or anything like that, the contractor? That part I don't know. Do you know anything? It does. So anytime we have a turnover of staff with custodial and this, that, and the other, it's going to be. So yeah, it does. It's a time-consuming
Professional and
process of
support.
tracking it down.
I mean, except for minus the $500 setup fee. I mean, even if it takes 1 hour for a person to do one person,
Paid.
that's more than that. Yeah,
Yes, paid.
yeah, I guess,
To me,
right?
it
Because we
pays
pay
for
them,
itself.
our clerical staff much more than that.
Right.
Okay, all right. How does everybody feel about adding that to the February committee of the whole? Yep, me too.
Yep.
Okay,
All good?
all right. Now we got to pick a date.
Yeah, the one day, that's the day we meant to do that the last time. Did you want to wait till the meeting when everybody's
No.
involved, or do you want to set a date?
Yeah, we'll set a date, and then everybody can just be sad that they have to be here. So what do you guys think? This is for the February.
Well, we can wait till March.
Oh yeah, we can wait until March. That's right.
We can put this date out a little bit. because-
Yeah. So either we're talking late February or early March to meet for our budget workshop. Anybody have? Mondays are obviously no good. Do we want to be looking at the same week as if we're looking at the same week as our board meeting in March? Is that the 7th and the 21st?
No, 14th and the
14th and 28th, he's saying. So we could meet the week before if people have time, or if you'd rather meet the same week as we meet for the committee of the whole, that's fine with me too.
What were the board meeting dates?
The 14th and the 28th
14th
of
and
March.
28th, I believe.
Why do I have the 7th and the 21st?
Let me double check.
I don't know. Gotta watch this guy.
Yep. He's shady.
He's probably right, I just wonder why it's wrong.
14th and the 28th.
14th and
Okay, and that's, so, would you guys rather meet maybe I don't know, the 9th or the 10th, and then we can talk about what was discussed at the committee of the whole, or would you rather meet?
I can do the 9th.
I can do the 9th as well.
Do a Wednesday.
How about the 10th? Is that a possibility for you?
Can't do it.
Yeah,
How about the 8th?
I can do the 8th. Yeah, I can do the 8th.
I,
I can do the.
8th?
I can do the 10th or the 8th. I can't do Wednesday because
I can do the-
teaching classes.
I can do the 8th as well. Can we do the 8th?
Yeah, 8th.
Tuesday the 8th.
So that's the workshop.
Yeah. You're looking at 6:30?
Yes. 6:30, is that okay? On the 8th. I'll share the good news. Next meeting. All right, and that's March. I don't know what it is. Do we have any public comment? Any further questions for Ms. Haynes, Mr. Hurley, or Dr. Cooper from the board? Okay, it's 7:18, we're done.